pick.
With the 7th pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Aldon Smith, defensive end, Missouri.
So it's a Missouri player, but it's not the quarterback coach. Aldon Smith for a team that has some defensive talent.
Well, this guy's got a lot going for him. He was a rising big time. He's got excellent versatility. I've seen him play outside backer. I've seen him play defensive end. He rushes over the guard in nickel situations. Great playing range when he's healthy. He can accelerate, burst. He can really get to the football. You know, I would like to see him play better at times with his hands. Big decision is where you're going to play him. I think the 49ers just got a puppy. He's just getting started. Third-year player at Missouri. 2 years ago, he broke a Missouri record with 11.5 sacks. I don't think they were happy with the pass rush they got from Manny Lawson, from Paris Harrelson, Travis LeBoy. Aldon Smith, I think, Mel, is going to be an outside linebacker for the 49ers, and he will get there.
And he will. And the Houston Texans, that would have been a good fit for them had he been there with that 11th pick overall. Think about Aldon Smith a couple of years ago as a redshirt freshman, John. He was a dominant player. See him coming off the edge there, getting into the backfield, getting the sack, had a lot of tackles for loss as well that year. Talking about a kid as a redshirt freshman, 11.5 sacks, 19 behind the line of scrimmage, and 64 tackles. Very active. Then he had the huge game against Illinois to start the year. 10 tackles, 3 behind the line of scrimmage, 2 sacks. Then he broke a bone in his right leg middle of September. That hampered him, obviously, moving forward. Missed some time, missed some game, came back, wasn't quite as dominant as he had been. Limited body of work, John. Only a third-year sophomore coming out early. Talked about Aaron Maven from Penn State. He, too, was a third-year sophomore coming out early with only 1 great year behind him. Aldon Smith, this would have been his 2nd great year. Unfortunately, he had the broken bone in the leg mid-September, or else he would have had as many sacks this year as he did last year. So for the 49ers, who got nothing from their outside linebackers in a 3-4 scheme, John, you can't have that.
The Niners take a Missouri player, and it's not Gabbert, it's Aldon Smith. That's the way things are developing, as now the Titans, with their Vince Youngless world, they have Blaine Gabbert available to them, with the Redskins, who might covet him more than most. So close, tantalizingly close. What about Aldon Smith, Mike?
Aldon Smith is 3 years removed from his high school prom. Put it in perspective. There's a lot of growth. He's 6'3" and change. He's 263 pounds. He played the defensive end in a 4-man front and was very effective when they kicked him inside. Now, the 49ers are going to ask him to stand up and play 3-4 rush linebacker. He's explosive. He's got a natural physical skill set. I was at his pro day workout. My only concern were the tightness in his hips. So when he steps up and drops back, he's not natural, he's not fluid, but they're not going to ask him to do much of that anyway. He's going to go get the quarterback.
And that's the thing. When you're the outside linebacker, your #1 duty is to go forward and beat that tackle. And this kid has freakish ability, and he understands how to pass rush. Long enough arms to keep the tackle disengaged. I want to see, can he handle the run?
Right, you know, this guy was with me in Game Changers in Phoenix, Arizona. He gained 17 pounds over their training. He's just a young kid, 21 years old. He's going to get bigger, stronger, faster. Vic Fangio is going to love this guy to train him. Yes, Mike, he won't drop very often, but we saw him intercept passes, and he did play basketball. But what he does best is get after the quarterback.
Well, the Tennessee Titans took only 4 minutes of their time. I'm getting my cardio in during the first round. I didn't think that I would tonight.
Move it.
With pick number 36 in the 2011 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Colin Kaepernick, quarterback, Nevada.
It's my guy, Mel.
There you go, boom.
It's my guy. So they traded with Denver. We'll clean up the trade in a minute. It involves a 2 and a 4 and a 5. So here's Colin Kaepernick, 10,000 yards passing, 4,000 yards running, the first guy ever to do it. And were it not for Kaepernick, I know there were missed field goals, okay? Had Kaepernick and Nevada not beaten Boise State, Andy Dalton never would have got to the Rose Bowl. Who knows if Andy's situation would have been different. He changed everything in college football other than the championship game. So Jim Harbaugh picking a quarterback.
I'll tell you what, a heck of a player for Chris Auld out at Nevada. They won a lot of football games because of Colin Kaepernick, his ability to throw the football and run the football out of that pistol offense. Over 4,000 rushing yards during his career, over 9,000 passing yards during his career. It's the best ever for an NCAA quarterback in the history of the game. I think you look at the windows that he had to throw into, John. That's the thing. In this offense, they were able to get receivers running open. There you see some of the throws, some of the few of the throws where he did have to make a precise throw. The delivery is unorthodox. Are you going to tweak it or are you going to leave this kid alone? He has a powerful arm. He had a 93-mile-an-hour fastball coming out of high school. Like by the Chicago Cubs, thought to be a pitcher, maybe moving on to Major League Baseball. Fortunately for Nevada and now the Niners, he's a football player. He's a quarterback. Can run 4'5", 240. He's 6'4½", 231 pounds. He's a competitor. He's smart, very well-spoken young man, a class act. And what Jim Harbaugh is going to have to do is mold this kid. Remember at University of San Diego, John, we had talked about it. Josh Johnson, kid in the NFL, Jim Harbaugh tutored and developed. Now he's got a kid who's going to have to become a pure passer at some point to be an effective starting quarterback in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh knows quarterbacks. He knows what it takes to play the position. Now he's got a developmental quarterback in Colin Kaepernick.
And I think you need a guy that can create plays with his legs. This is a legitimate dual threat. He can run and throw. I do think he needs development. He hasn't been underneath the center at all. He's been in that pistol offense. The more you watch Nevada-Reno, the more you want to put their offense in. I mean, they shred people. That's a heck of an offense. This guy's going to take a little bit of time, but Harbaugh is one of the best quarterback coaches. That's what they tell us in the league. He's going to have an opportunity to really sculpt something.
So Jim Harbaugh has just made one of the most prolific quarterbacks in all of college football in the last 4 years. The second-round choice of the San Francisco 49ers, Colin Kaepernick. So we started off the hour with Michael Lombardi saying the Raiders were interested. Colin's going to the Bay Area. It's just across the bay to San Francisco. Where does this fit in, do you think, Mike?
I think Jim Harbaugh fell in love with this guy as a developmental quarterback, and he's a better athlete than Tim Tebow. He's still a project. His lower body and his upper body don't connect. Let's take a look at him. Steps up. Now, look at the foot. He sometimes struggles to get back over it, but when he does, it's pretty good. He's got a huge arm. I saw him at Peyton Manning's Academy last year. Little tight. Watch this. Creates space behind the linebacker driving on the under route, puts it right on him on the intermediate route. And again, somebody gets loose quickly. What about the feet? Does he keep his eyes down the field? I chose those plays because it would have been too easy to show running plays. That's what he does. That's what he's done. This guy is so gifted athletically, but again, coach, a project.
Talking about Colin Kaepernick, the quarterback at Nevada. Now listen, Virgil Green was making those plays, but you know what? Someone had to get him the ball, and that was Kaepernick. Of course, went much earlier to the San Francisco 49ers. This was the game against Boise State what really put him on the map here.
Oh, he was tremendous. And I'll tell you what, you go back and watch him play against Cal. I mean, this was a signature game, but his Cal film against the University of California is as good a film as you'll see by a quarterback. This individual, Colin Kaepernick, can throw the ball moving to his left as good as any human being I've ever watched. And that's not an understatement. Going to his left, I've never seen anybody come close. He makes throws that you would say, no, 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 no. And then he makes you go, oh, my gosh, how do you do that? I think the San Francisco 49ers found a diamond in the rough. I know Jim Harbaugh wanted him bad. He sees the ceiling. And I think the 49ers do a great job developing him. It may take a couple years, but he will have the immediate impact, guys, because they'll adapt into some quarterback situational play.
To pay moving fees, he's from San Diego State, and the little running back's probably going to come next, San Diego. All right, your turn, Todd. Culliver.
Chris Culliver, 6 feet, 199 pounds, and runs a 4.4 in the 40-yard dash. This guy has the size, he has the speed, anticipates routes well, but he, at times, he'll wind up getting into trouble, peeking in the backfield, not very physical versus the run. What does he need? He needs good coaching. San Francisco can coach this guy up. He has a chance to be a good player. I think he can help, at least as a nickel corner. This defense needs help. 24th in the NFL with 231 yards per game allowed through the air. Receivers and the running backs. Kendall Hunter out of Oklahoma State. let's start with the negatives. He's had some durability issues, and he has some ball security issues as well. I did a study on the top 12 running backs in this year's class. He came in an 8th in terms of ball security, not fumbling. 10 fumbles and 771 touches. But I gave him a second-round grade in terms of what I saw in his running ability and his overall versatility, and I think he fell to the 4th round because of those 2 issues. If he can stay healthy and protect the football, I think this could be a steal of a pick. And Trent, I know you like this fit.
I love this fit. And what Trent Baalke, the general manager of the 49ers, does, he understands the profile of his football team as well as anybody in this league. He loves Kendall Hunter because he fits. Frank Gore is one of the best backs in this league, but only has a couple more years. Anthony Dixon, who they drafted last year, is a big bruising back. Kendall Hunter will be the perfect complementary back. You need to have a 3-headed beast. Look at their entire draft. Everything makes sense for what they want to be.
Indeed, Kendall Hunter of Oklahoma State.
Kendall Hunter is a really valuable guy as far as his understanding of the game. He's quick. He's probably a 3rd down change of pace guy. He's quicker than fast. He's not going to run 4.4. He ran a 4.50. Look at the foot speed is what impresses me. He catches the football well. And even though he's a small guy, Coach, he's kind of just a one-cut downhill guy.
Exactly. Just watching the cut-ups and stuff, what you see, though, is he does have good vision. Yep. He's got the ability to read his blockers on screens. And if you're looking for that complimentary back that doesn't have to be the premier starter, you need guys like that.
Out of North Carolina, but back to Kilgore out of Appalachian State. Trent?
Nasty. You look why Trent Baalke moved up to get Daniel Kilgore, because he's a tackle that has conversion skills to go to guard or center. Great athletic ability. He's a tough guy and plays with balance. So in this area, you're always looking for offensive linemen that give you flexibility that you could develop that can become starters down the road. So you look for certain traits. That's what Daniel Kilgore has. He has conversion traits, balance. Look at the nastiness. He'll finish. He gets his hips engaged all the time. He's not a body leaner. Too many offensive linemen are drafted that bend from the waist and start tilting their chest to the ground. Kilgore's not one of those guys. He's going to play with that balance, play with that leverage, be able to hold up, and it'll eventually grow into his body. I love what Trent Baalke and the San Francisco 49ers are doing in this entire draft.